Why the Warriors will be title contenders again next season. Back in the mid-2010s, the Golden State Warriors created the last dynasty this league's seen up to date. And they did it in style, revolutionizing the game in the process and becoming one of the most popular and most valuable, according to Forbes, sports teams worldwide regarding all sports. They played in 5 consecutive NBA Finals, winning 3 titles, and in 2019 their new state-of-the-art arena opened its gates in San Francisco. Life was great for the Warriors, until it wasn't. They lost Kevin Durant during the offseason in 2019, and then on October the 30th, only 5 games into the 2019-20 season, their iconic leader Steph Curry broke his hand. Klay Thompson was already out for the season, and the unrecognizable Golden State Warriors suddenly went from contending to tanking. But Curry's healthy now, stronger than ever, and back to his old form in the current season. Draymond Green is, well, let's just say back too. James Wiseman, whom the Warriors drafted with the second pick of the 2020 NBA draft, is an exciting young prospect. The team's winning games once again, being currently in the playoff picture in the West, and people are smiling again in San Francisco. Truth be told, the Warriors are expected to make the playoffs, but they shouldn't be considered actual title contenders this season. But what about the next season? In this video, we're going to analyze the main reasons why the Golden State Warriors will be one of the teams to beat next season if things run smoothly, but we'll also offer a couple of counter-arguments and figure out what could go wrong too. Before we get into this, we want to thank you for your continued support. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, here's your chance to smash that subscribe button. And without further ado, the Steph Curry factor. Steph Curry won back-to-back MVPs in 2015 and 2016, and many consider him to be the best three-point shooter this league's ever seen. That's understandable, as he recently passed the legendary Reggie Miller for number 2 in all-time made three-pointers, and he still has quite a few years of good basketball ahead of him. He's also one of the most crafty, hard-working, talented and clutch players to ever play the game. He's currently enjoying one extraordinary comeback season so far. He's recently been selected as a starter for the 2021 All-Star Game, and as a matter of fact, when Steph's at 100%, the Warriors always have a chance. But he needs some help. Which brings us to the Warriors starting 5 next season. If everything goes according to plan, with Klay Thompson making a full recovery and the team not being devastated by injuries once again, or deciding to shake things up approaching the trade deadline, the Warriors are expected to have one of the strongest starting lineups in the league next season. The Splash Brothers will obviously be their starting guards, with Andrew Wiggins at small forward, Draymond Green at power forward, while James Wiseman needs to keep developing his game, establishing himself as their undisputed starting center. They could even add Kelly Oubre Jr. to the mix on occasion instead of Andrew Wiggins or even James Wiseman if they want to go small ball. However, it's unclear whether he's going to be part of the team next year. But first things first, is Klay Thompson going to make a full recovery? Even though recent reports on Klay's rehabilitation process are quite hopeful, the truth is that most players that suffered a torn Achilles never make a full recovery. And we shouldn't fail to mention here that Klay Thompson's going to be out for 2 consecutive seasons. But if Kevin Durant's case is of any indication, Klay isn't a lost cause. He's just turned 31, he's strong-willed and as hard-working as anyone else, and besides, there are also other cases of players that suffered similar injuries in the past, like Dominique Wilkins, that managed to come back to their previous all-star form. The odds aren't in his favour, but we wouldn't bet against him. And if Klay makes a full recovery, the Warriors will instantly become serious title contenders once again. But Wiggins and Green need to step up. Unfortunately, Andrew Wiggins' NBA career so far has been pretty disappointing. It's not that his numbers aren't good, but he failed to meet what was expected of him. He was one of the most overhyped players since LeBron James, who was actually labelled as one of the top NBA prospects ever before he was selected with the first pick of the 2014 NBA draft. There are no clear weaknesses in his game despite the fact that he tends to hide sometimes when the clutch time comes, but first off, this is actually a major weakness, and secondly, it feels like he's been stable for a while now and he lacks that killer instinct. So if he's still a member of the Warriors next season, and that's a huge if, he's going to need to step up, as will Draymond Green. Where's that Dre magic those last couple of years? Draymond Green used to be the heart and soul of the Warriors, the glue that used to hold them all together, the one that made everyone around him better. And now the three-time All-Star is part of various trade rumors every day. But the Warriors will be reluctant to let him go because they know that when Draymond's healthy, when he feels good, and when he's in the right mental state, he's maybe their most important piece of the puzzle. And if everything goes according to plan, they expect him to be reborn next season. And so do we. The bench. Now, this one's a little bit tricky. During their consecutive finals run, the Warriors bench used to be one of the strongest in the entire league, with players such as Andre Iguodala, who was named the finals MVP in 2015, Sean Livingston, and David West frequently coming off the bench and becoming the X Factors.
A what?
An apprentice jockey.
A disc jockey?
No, a racing jockey.
What's the funny though?
Their most important bench player in 2020-21 is Eric Pascal, averaging 17.9 minutes per game and 10.2 points per game. He's not a bad player, not at all. He's shown signs of greatness in the 2 seasons he's been in the league, but he's no Iguodala or Livingston. And with all due respect to players such as Damian Lee, Brad Wanamaker or Michael Mulder, they wouldn't even be stepping into the Warriors locker room a few years ago. Sean Livingston, who's now a member of the Warriors front office, and Bob Myers, their GM, and the rest of their front office, they all know that they need to find ways to improve the depth and the quality of the team's bench. They need talent, experience, and a winning mentality. But this task might be quite difficult since the team's way over the hard cap for the 2021-22 season. So unless they manage to get rid of some of their huge individual contracts, for example Andrew Wiggins, who's making $31.5 million next season, unless they get rid of him in a clever way that both saves them some money and improves their team, flexibility is going to be an issue in the upcoming offseason. The fact that the Minnesota Timberwolves are probably going to keep their 2021 first-round draft pick doesn't help their case regarding next season either. However, the team has a great recent history of managing to sign excellent players for pennies, so if they're healthy and at full strength, they might be able to attract some players into accepting a huge pay cut in order to chase a championship ring. So, in conclusion, the Golden State Warriors have proven these last few years they have an excellent organization with the players, the coaching staff and the front office all working together and striving for greatness. There were a few setbacks along the road, they have made mistakes, they could have handled Kevin Durant's case better for example, but they have come out wiser nevertheless. Even though they shouldn't be considered right now the strongest favourite for the title next season, they shouldn't be overlooked either, as if they remain healthy, they'll definitely be among the title contenders. So, what do you think about that? Do the Golden State Warriors have at least one more championship run in them? Are you rooting for them? Share your thoughts below. Feel free to also comment regarding what topics you'd like us to cover in future videos. And if you like this video, give us your stamp of approval and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And of course, keep loving this game.